Good day everyone, I am Shaina Eve Pilaren. I belong to the group 5 and this is my own lecture video with regards to my topic, which is the grammar translation method. The grammar translation method is a method of foreign or second language teaching which makes use of translation and grammar study as the main teaching and learning activities. The grammar translation method helps students learn grammatical rules through textbooks and other reading materials and then apply those rules by translating sentences between the target language and the native language. It was considered as the most common language teaching method and was also called the classical method because it was first used in teaching the classical languages of Latin and Greek. This method also involves very little spoken communication and listening comprehension. The primary skills to be improved are reading and writing skills. This is especially helpful in teaching students how to read and write in another language, although it did not specifically concentrate in the speaking and listening skills of the students because the goal of this method is to be able to let the students learn the target language through reading texts and translating it on their native language. So let's move on to the 6 characteristics of the grammar translation method. It focuses on reading and writing. Again, everyone, the most important thing that we have to remember when we are talking about the grammar translation method is that its primary focus is reading and writing, and it only has a little or no systematic attention to the listening and speaking skills of the students. Second is it uses vocabulary words. Since it enables the students to acquire the second language through translation, the students need to utilize their vocabulary words in order to understand or comprehend what they had read and to properly translate it into their native language. Little or no attention is given to pronunciation. Students are required to translate the whole text word for word, and this method often means to teach the students the proper pronunciation of the words, which is also important in the second language acquisition. Fourth is it adopts a deductive approach. This method has a deductive approach on rules. It is very important that the students learn about the grammatical forms of the target language to enable them to translate the text accurately. Fifth is new terms are explained in the native language. New terms or words in the target language are explained by the teachers through speaking the native language. Because in using this method, it is believed that the students can more effectively learn by letting their native language be used or be involved in the second language acquisition. Last is, it emphasizes accuracy. Students are expected to attain high standards in translation. They must be accurate in translating the sentences into their target language and vice versa. If the students are incorrect, teachers must teach and provide the correct meaning in order for the students to succeed in learning the target language. So now let's proceed to the objectives of the grammar translation method. First on the list is that to be able to read literature that is written in the target language. This method aims to let the students read and understand the texts, paragraphs, or phrases that are written in the target language. Of course, comprehension is also important in learning the target language. That is why teachers should make sure that all of the students understand what they are reading, to be able to translate from one language to another. Students must know how to analyze and study the grammatical rules of the language and then to practice manipulating grammatical structures through the means of translation both into and from their mother tongue. Last is to develop reading and writing skills and students' general mental discipline. The reading and writing skills of the students are really prioritized in using this method. These skills help the students to enhance their abilities to memorize grammatical rules, construct sentence structures, and translating texts. Now, before we proceed to the another subtopic of the grammar translation method, I will going to let you all watch first a real and short video showing how the grammar translation method is being applied in foreign language teaching.
So now, before moving to our next topic, let us first analyze what is the story all about. So let's talk first about the first paragraph. So what have you understood about the first paragraph? You can answer. Okay, Leah, first paragraph, what does it mean? So what have you understood about the first paragraph?
Pagmata daw niya, nakabati siya sa iyang kalibutan ng mga langas, nanay na dilak niya ka na. Samtang sinara siya sa iyang kwarto. Niya, ang iyang mama, giyaglihan ang kwarto sa iyang mga murang na pani ang iyang pagtawag ba na. Huwag siya nagdawang ako ang kanang bata, ang kanang tao sa kanang
Okay, next paragraph. Next paragraph, Cyril.
Gibiran siya ang mama niya. Pinapit sa kanang riha sa kanang barko niya. Gibilin siya sa sa mga sailor sa barko niya. Iyang mama nito siya nilikisan siya dito sa kanang agta niya. Gibilin na siya dito sa barko kay iyang karitao na uban sa pamilya niya.
Okay, translating the story into mother tongue, you were able to comprehend and understand what is the story all about, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mas makasabota kung mother tongue nga to, ha? So this is English versus your mother tongue.
So the following key techniques are the ones which are frequently used and observed in grammar translation method classes. First is the translation of a literary passage, which means that translating from target language to native language. In this technique, the students translate a text from the target language into their native language, and the translation may be both done through written and spoken. Second is reading comprehension questions. Finding information in a passage, making inferences, and relating to personal experience. The students answer questions in the target language based on their understanding of the text that they are reading. Next is the antonyms and the synonyms. Finding antonyms and synonyms for words or sets of words. The teacher will ask or let the students identify some antonyms or synonyms that they found in the text. Cognates. Learning spelling or sound patterns that correspond between the first language and the target language. The teacher will teach the students to recognize cognates by learning the sound patterns or spellings that corresponds between the two languages. Deductive application of rule. Understanding grammar rules and their exceptions, then applying them to new examples. On this technique, grammar rules are presented with examples. Once the students understand a rule, they are ordered to apply it to some different examples. Next is fill in the blanks. Filling in gaps in sentences with new words or items of a particular grammar type. The students are given a series of sentences with word missing and they fill in the blanks with new vocabulary items or with items of particular grammar type. Memorization. Memorizing vocabulary lists, grammatical rules, and grammatical paradigms. Students are given lists of the target language vocabulary words and their native language equivalents and are asked to memorize them. Students are also required to memorize grammatical rules and other grammatical structures. Use in words in sentences. Students create sentences to illustrate that they know the meaning and the use of new words. In order to show that the students understand the meaning and use the new vocabulary item, they make up sentences in which they use the new words. And last is composition. Students write about a topic using the target language. The teacher gives the students a topic to write about in the target language, and then the topic is based upon some aspect of the text that is found in the lesson. So now I am going to discuss the several strong points of the grammar translation method. First is, it does not require teachers to speak good English or make good preparations. Speaking of the native language is very much allowed in this method. That is why teachers doesn't have a hard time teaching the students and acquiring the second language. And it saves teachers labor because it is very easy to prepare his lesson and it doesn't require the teacher to make use of audiovisual aids. The second advantage is the grammar is easily taught. Grammar of the foreign language is easily taught by comparing it with the grammar of the mother tongue. Students became good at memorizing rules and translating texts. Memorization is highly needed to achieve this method. Memorization of the students will be fully enhanced and developed in order for them to be proficient in the target language. The last advantage is it gives the chance of learning a new language using textbooks. This method also allows the learners to acquire the target language through using textbooks as the learning materials. And also here are the weak sides of the grammar translation method. It neglects speech. Translation method neglects speech because there is no much attention is paid to oral work. There is only a little ear training as the teacher speaks the mother tongue most of the time. It neglects habit formation. Because of its neglect of speech and pattern practice, translation method ignores habit formation. The students never acquire the habit to think in the target language because they first think in their mother tongue and translates their thoughts into the target language. Little or no attempt is made to teach pronunciation. It doesn't help the students to learn correct pronunciation of the target language because it focuses more on translation of the word phrases. No creativity. Translation method can be dull and boring because it only uses textbooks and there are no visual aids that is used to make lessons more interesting. So that's the end of my lecture video. I hope that you gained some valuable ideas, and I apologize if there are some things that are not included and you had noticed some errors. Thank you for your time, everyone, and have a good day.